Who else saw the TikTok video of that girl being interviewed in Miami who said she's like funded by her parents, but she wants a man who makes like 150 million a year? The interviewer was like, what about a guy who makes 50 million? And she's like, no, not enough. Dude, honestly, so real, because there are literally guys out there with stupid wealth, guys, and you're out here settling for the guy who makes 100K a year. 100K is now below the poverty level, guys. And if you're getting offended by this, just find you a girl who's okay with that. Girls who have high expectations and high standards are gonna get what they want if they don't settle.
This delusion that women have, thinking that just because they have a pretty face they'll land a millionaire, is crazy. The worst part is that these are women who aren't wife material because they bring nothing to the table. The same goes for the 30-year-old woman who, as you'll see, her high standards have left her hitting the wall. But first, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, because your support really helps us out. Now then, let's get started.
Stop sacrificing your needs to please everyone else. You're not a doormat, and your worth is not tied to how agreeable you are.
It has been said, based on science, that women who are smarter, more intelligent, more ambitious will have difficulty when it comes to romantic relationships. There's actually a study done where 105 men were tested on an intelligence test, and they were told that the woman down the hall either outperformed them or underperformed. And so they were asked in terms of romantic partners they would choose. And more often than not, they chose the woman who outperformed them. But when they actually met the woman in real life, there were less signs of interest with the woman that outperformed. They ended up choosing people more often than not that made them feel less inferior and made them feel like their masculinity wasn't diminished as a result of being around this person. So men think they know what they want, but they don't always necessarily know. If you make a man feel inferior, then there's less likely of a chance that he'll want to choose you as a partner. But that doesn't mean that you should change yourself in order to be chosen. Find a man that doesn't feel threatened by you. So, yeah, hope that helps.
This guy commented and said that my dating standards are too high for someone that's a single mother. I have high standards because I'm a single mother. I cannot afford to let somebody play in my face. And who told you that being a single mother disqualifies you from actually having standards and having to settle? I don't know who misled you, but the moment that I became a single mother was the moment I knew I cannot settle. I must always lead by example because I have a little girl looking up to me, okay? Get with it or get lost.
Stop it. Get some help. Are you all natural or do you have work done?
I have work done.
What do you have done?
Want to guess? He held the eye contact. I applaud that. I have 2 boob jobs. I have a fat graft under eye. My booty is done, and that's it.
2 boob jobs.
Yeah.
Can you give the camera a spin for the full profile view?
I got you.
Why invest in body modification at all?
Because it makes me more money. It was like a business decision. I was never insecure about my body, but I knew like a bigger tits and bigger ass would make me more money business-wise.
Do you feel like you're more happier with bigger titties and a bigger ass than you were before?
I'm more happier with more money. And a bigger tits and bigger ass got me more money, then yes.
But what type of social media work do you do?
Woodworking.
Woodworking?
Yeah.
On social media?
Yeah, I build furniture.
So you're using your sex appeal in your videos while you're building to bait men into liking him?
I mean, I don't know if it's a baiting, but yeah. Sex sells. Are you mad at the cheerleaders on the sideline at a football game? No.
But when
Are
men...
you mad at the sexy models like selling cars? No.
But when men are commenting and they're sexualizing you and objectifying you, does that make you feel good, bad, validated, or what?
I love it.
You love it.
Yeah, because I like being hot. Does it not make you feel good when you're complimented? Like if a girl is like, wow, you're really attractive, does that not make you feel good?
Men and women are different.
That's true. That's true. I think men are naturally a bit more sexually prone. So I would think the compliment would hit you harder than a girl.
If men chose women that you claim are inferior, I think it's pretty clear they do know what they want. What they don't want is women who think they're superior to men just because they have a degree. Besides, we're all looking for a simple woman who joins our life plan. Now, that woman sees her body as a business. Almost all women, 90% of those who get body surgery see their body as a business to profit from. They don't realize that a woman who gets surgery while married always ends up leaving her husband because they see they can capitalize on their body. In the end, the single mother, what can I say? She already chose the wrong father for her child. She can't afford to mess up with the stepfather. Brothers, the wall doesn't forgive.
There's no such thing as a woman having high standards. It's men who have high entitlements and low effort. We're not fucking buying it anymore. Thank you.
Men offer vibes, coffee, car dates, walks, hikes, ice cream dates instead of dinner dates or dates where they have to really plan and make and put in effort to spend time with you to get your presents. Because somewhere, somehow, some way, some woman will show up, split the bill, and still give him her body. Women have normalized self-sacrifice, and the world now expects it. When you undervalue yourself, you undercut the standard. Imagine being the woman who's worked hard on herself, on her image, on her body, or set the tone in her dating of, her standards, that she wants a provider, or she wants a man that is masculine, that's a leader, and she confidently expects all of these things, only to have another woman come in and undercut her, show up to dates that the woman had to plan, that the woman had to pay for. I just feel like that is so unfair for the other women that are putting in the effort, right? These pick-me's come in and want to work for free, want to be in these relationships for validation, want to have a man on their arm for arm candy. One woman says, I want dates, I want consistency, I want intentions, I want princess treatment. And another woman says, oh, I'm just going with the flow right now. I'll just have sex with him and, see where things go. It's not that serious. When women collectively stop demanding quality, the entire quality of treatment drops.
High standards are a complete and utter myth created by the man trying to deflect from the fact that he does not want to do the work, but he still wants the good woman. Let's clear this up. The man talking about the woman with high standards is not actually even talking about a woman desiring a man with a Greek god body or to be taken on a first-class flight to a 5-star hotel all the time. He's talking about the woman who wants some kind of consistent communication, like letting her know if he's going to go out and he's not going to call round, or checking in on her when he knows she's a little bit emotionally fragile, or making himself smell nice for date night. Not always just showing up burping and scratching his backside. Remembering her birthday. He wants a partner, not a mother. It's not even extravagant, yet a man will call these standards high when he's trying to deflect from the fact that he is unwilling to meet these bare minimum expectations. But it kind of works, because when he calls you too picky or accuses you of wanting too much, that shifts the blame from him reflecting onto you asking for too much. And you do actually absorb that. For years, men who cannot be bothered self-improving or doing any emotional work have labelled women as too needy and too much and too sensitive and too picky and as having high standards. When you say you want your partner to communicate openly, you are not asking too much. Labeling your very normal expectations as high standards is a very convenient defense mechanism. Instead of facing the uncomfortable truth that he might be falling short or struggle to meet your basic needs, he'll flip the script and shame you and call you too needy. Instead of sitting with the burden of his own behaviour, he will call your expectations unrealistic. It's not uncommon to be exhausted as a woman carrying the emotional weight of every relationship. Shared responsibility isn't unreasonable. He's just never had to do that work before, so he sees it as extra. In fact, women having any standards at all scares the man who previously was able to get by on basic charm or potential. When women no longer tolerate the bare minimum, it challenges the status quo. You don't have high standards, you have healthy, reasonable standards that are called high by people unwilling to meet them. High standards are a myth developed by frightened men who don't want to ever have to raise their standards at all.
It's not that the treatment has declined. It's that you all made chivalry into misogyny. Don't you remember when feminists said she can open her own door, that they didn't need a man to pull out their chair, that she can earn her own money, that they wanted equality, that they were strong and independent? Well, that's how independence works. It's not low effort. We're just giving you what you asked for. On top of that, what kind of standard are these women talking about? Since when can a woman today not go on a coffee date? Because it's not fancy enough for her. The woman of today demands wife-level treatment when she barely even knows you. They don't put in the work in the relationship. At the first mistake, they drop you. They go out with you while talking to other guys. So when they do that, why are you surprised when a man doesn't put in effort for women who aren't worth the effort?
Your standards are too high. Well, those standards protect me from low quality experiences, and that's why I'm not afraid to say no.
If you're the type of woman that's out here getting her own money, you're educated, you're in the gym, you're beautiful inside and out, you're getting right with God, you have morals, you love yourself, you stand on business, then guess what? You can ask whatever the fuck you want from these men. Anything. And whoever can't do it needs to get the fuck out of your way. Because there's plenty of men that are dying to do it. Dying to be in your face. Dying to fulfill your desires. Yeah. What one man can't and won't, another man is so motherfucking ready and willing. I promise you. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your youth. Stop wasting your beauty. Stop wasting your love on these losers. You don't need to do that. If you just found out this information today, then it's okay, right? I'm glad, you're here now. Glad you're awake. But get to stepping. Walk in your power. Stop letting people play in your face. I promise. You'll look back and you're going to be like, what the fuck was I doing? And why was I doing it with him? Don't let that be too much of your story. Okay? Okay. Love you guys. Bye.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
In today's episode of Decent Drink Man, I want to talk about standards. We are at the first time in history where women are holding standards to men and saying, you don't meet my standards, therefore you're not allowed in my life. Historically speaking, women have never really been allowed to do that. They had to deal with and settle for men because they needed them in order to survive. We couldn't get a credit card without a man signing off on it until 1974. That's recent. That's crazy, right? So we did have to just kind of suck it up and deal with them. Now, we, for the first time, have these standards where we're like, hey, so I see that you're 35. Cool. I would love to see a basic hygiene routine from you. I would love to see that you have pillowcases on your flat, dusty pillows from 20 years ago. Would love to see a pillowcase. And I would love for you to not smell like a trash bag. And rather than men being like, you know what? That's actually a decent idea. I'll consider it. Let me go talk to my male friends because I need their opinion over yours, and then I'll get back to you. Rather than doing that, they lose their mind and they're like, these women have the highest standards and they're ridiculous. They're gonna die alone. First of all, don't tempt me with a good time of dying alone. Second of all, women will not die alone. We're gonna die with other women and our dogs and our cats. Please, we are not worried about being lonely when it comes to not having a man in our life because we have each other. Y'all clearly don't. That's why there's this whole loneliness epidemic. That's a different conversation. But when we see these men react to these standards, what it actually is exposing is that they're mad that the goalpost is being moved on them. And hey, I can understand that because I am a woman and my goalpost of the beauty standard changes basically quarterly, depending on marketing tactics by the media, which is run by who? Men. Who created that system? Men. So I understand your frustration. I've experienced it quarterly since I was an adolescent because guess what? Adolescence is when females are sexualized and fetishized over who? Men. So I understand your frustration. I would love to see a bar of soap and a pillowcase that really would work wonders, and basic empathy would really do you good.
Let me be clear. When these women talk about standards, they place themselves as if they're a prize. They act like they're hard to get for men. And the truth is it's the complete opposite. When a guy with money knows that with a wallet and an expensive restaurant you're willing to give it all up, he'll do it. But not to make you his partner, just as a weekend expense. And using male loneliness as a threat doesn't work. The single man today lives well. He has hobbies, friends, time, his own money, and real options. Because the demographics don't lie. There are more available women than men, and that's not even counting the ones who simply stepped out of the game by choice. The loneliness that truly hurts isn't that of the man who builds his life. It's that of the one who waited too long believing time wasn't passing. The same voices giving standards lectures on social media are single, explaining why they're single and hitting the wall. As everyone knows, the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end, but before we wrap up, we leave you with 2 questions for the comments. Why are the same women giving standards lectures on TikTok the ones who haven't been in a stable relationship in years? Why is the woman with high standards the first one to lower them when the wrong guy shows up with the right look? And if this content brought you any value, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Every bit of support helps us reach more people and keep bringing this type of analysis. See you in the next video from the wall.